Welcome back to the channel. I have some trippy ones for you today. Let's get diving.
Hi. Just be okay. You gonna be okay? Hi.
I've never seen anything like this here. I grew up in Southern California. This is like nothing we've ever seen, with multiple fires raging across the LA region right now. And here in Malibu, it's truly an apocalyptic scene. We're on the Pacific Coast Highway right now, where home after home after home, beachfront properties are engulfed in flames. I am looking at a mansion right now, a beach view mansion up in the hills. It's just basically exploded. And the reason we're separated from my crew right now is because we had just gone a little bit down the road to scope something out, and we turned around, and there was then a live wire that had power line had fallen, and a live wire was blocking the road, and now it's blocked first responders. I mean, it's not, the most important thing now is that there are multiple fire trucks here that I'm looking at that are stalled and can't get through because this live wire is down blocking the road.
We are only 9 days in 2025. Hurricane Helene in 2024, and those, history breaking storms that occurred in 2024. And remember, I told you that things will get a lot worse in 2025. All right, so we're going to do a deep dive into these California fires. It's heartbreaking, devastating, scary, all at the same time. Buckle up. Let's get diving. Can you imagine trying to flee these fires and being stuck at? What would you do?
Is like a hurricane in the middle of a brush fire. You've got people right there. Is that a homeowner that's trying to leave? Is this your house? Yeah. Which is your house?
Yeah, this is our house. Backyard's on fire. I'm out of here.
Oh my gosh. So what happened? Is there anything we can do to help you, sir?
You can take these paintings, I guess. I can't ride with these.
Listen, I'll take them for you. I work at NBC.
Thank you.
I'll make sure you get them. But we've got these from you. You come and find them for me at NBC. But again, so here you see.
Taking my bike out. See you guys.
Okay, someone leaving. He just told me, this gentleman, that his home is on fire. His backyard's on fire.
Is on fire. And right over here, Joab, you can see more people coming with their horses. They're trying to rescue their animals. Can you imagine just, oh my goodness, these embers flying everywhere. Hi there. How many more horses do you have?
We have a couple we just let loose over there. We're trying to get as many as we can out. Yeah.
Are any homes out there on fire?
Honestly, I did not pay attention. I just drove straight to the barn to get my horses out and get the rest of these guys out. We're not just gonna let them burn.
We got a bunch out with trailers, and there's a bunch in there still. How many more? We don't know. I don't know. I don't know how many. How many did you let out?
Now, so this is Pacific Palisades. All of these cars were ditched.
So all of the drivers panicked. They took their keys. This is Palisades Drive as well as Sunset Boulevard. This dozer is just moving these vehicles out of the way. So if this is your car, unfortunately, it's an emergency situation, and this is what they have to do. They are moving the cars as we speak. Unfortunately, there are dozens of cars. This looks like a movie set. Unfortunately, this is real. LA County Fire, they have to do what they have to do.
That is so scary. I'm so sorry for the victims and all those who lost their homes.
Never, ever, ever seen anything like this. I've been living here for 6 years. There's so much smoke that it is blocking the sun. You can actually see it.
Yo, when I saw this clip, I thought it was like a movie clip, but then I see it's from the news, and that looks like some Armageddon type of shit there, don't it?
Fire is over in there.
What are your thoughts on that? Sun turning, darken. That sounds like a lot like Matthew 24, Luke 21, Mark 14, when it talks about the end days. But let's dive into a different theory here as to why these things are happening. Allie Carter said something very interesting. She said, "Watch the fires." All right, I'm taking you a different direction here. Let's go.
Something that watch for those fires. Explosions make fires too. Explosions make accidental fires too, and then oops, we don't know how that happened, and then you look into it and you see that it's tied to something that's tied to something that's tied to something that's tied to trafficking, and then you realize, oh, it wasn't just an explosion.
Allie Carter said there would be fires.
Everybody's like, we're ready, we're ready, we're ready. We're ready until it's happening, and then everybody's like, well, I wasn't ready. Yeah. There's gonna be a lot of that. There's no other way to get ready. There's no other way to prepare. There's no protocol for what's about to happen. The world is going to crumble when they see this next arrest. In the meantime, there's going to be deaths, distractions, and fires to hide evidence. Watch for it, ask questions, demand answers. You know who's on those flight logs. You do. You know who should be arrested. You all do. You know that laptop from hell is real. You know that the black book is real. You know Ghislaine Maxwell's customers are who everybody is watching in the everyday news, including those who you drop your kids off with every day. Your schools, your doctors.
There's no water in the Palisades. There's no water coming out of the fire hydrant.
What is the situation with the water? Obviously, in Palisades ran out last night in the hydrants. I was trying the firefighter in this block. They left because there was no water in the hydrant here.
The local folks are trying to figure that out. I mean,
yo, did you catch when Newsom said at the last and the end of that statement, "Let the locals figure it out"? So this one, right? I'm throwing a theory out there. And we're going to dive more into what our peers and people think as well. Everything that's been happening with the weather as of late for the last few years have been mad suspect. Now, this whole thing with the Diddy trial, the surrounding areas that are being burnt, what can be in those areas? Tunnels. All right, let's keep diving. Let's go.
Fires happening in California. My heart goes out to the many people that have lost their homes. But I just want to rewind real quick. Do you all remember when Miss Allie Carter said this would happen?
There will be no accidental car accidents. There will be no accidental fires. No accidental explosions.
Okay, with that being said, there were a lot of celebrity homes that have also been destroyed due to the fires, i.e. Paris Hilton, we have Fergie, Spencer and Heidi from the Hills, and so on and so on. A lot of people, right? Ali Carter did say that some of these disturbances with these fires were going to be due to the Diddy case and allegedly to try and get rid of evidence or what have you. This is what she said, not me. TikTok. It's not true. Allegedly, whatever. Now, with that being said, we were told about California, but never did I think they were going to start happening in Miami, Florida. There was a bunch of cars caught on fire in a garage. There are a lot of things going on around the world right now. Chaos. I could just call it chaos. I don't know. Do you think they're all connected? What do you guys think?
This is what I think. Everyone, do your own research. I bring these clips to you just for awareness and to share your thoughts on these different theories that people have. Nothing is set in stone as it's legitimate, but it's to bring to your attention something to chew on, something to think about. Right? This horrific event, that's burning down all these homes is horrible for, the locals and those who are innocent. But, it's very interesting, very, very interesting, the time frame of everything that's happening, especially, with the inauguration, with the names about to be dropped. Is evidence being
for
burned?
us, as the California fire will burn the entire land mass, causing California to no longer exist, and the government is now reported to stop at nothing to burn us all alive. People were terrified after Ali Carter, lead victim in the Diddy case, said the LA fires are not from Earth, as videos show alleged lasers coming out of the fires and specifically burning exactly where Diddy and his other celebrity friends' homes are, leaving not even rocks behind. But it gets stranger, as even the new president is coming out to say the California governor had shut off the fresh water supply to California right before the fire, leaving the firefighters fighting this with dry fire hydrants and helicopters, with even the mayor leaving California altogether, but had cut $17.6 million of funding from the fire department right before, and even the insurance companies that covered fires for decades cutting off fire insurance just months before this. With haunting videos of the California fire spreading so rapidly, CNN reports this cannot be a normal fire, as it is not only 0% contained after days, but it's destroying a distance of 5 football fields every minute.
I talked to a fireman once. This is one of the reasons that freaked me out. And he was telling me, he goes, dude, one day, he goes, it's just going to be the right wind and fire's going to start in the right place and it's going to burn through LA all the way to the ocean. And there's not a fucking thing we can do about it. I go, really? He goes, yeah, we just get lucky. He goes, we get lucky with the wind. He goes, but if the wind hits the wrong way, it's just going to burn straight through LA and there's not going to be a thing we can do about it. Because these fires are so big, dude. When they're talking about like thousands of acres that are burning simultaneously with like 40-mile-an-hour winds. And the wind's just blowing embers through the air, and those embers are landing on roofs, and those houses are going up, and they're landing on bushes, and those bushes are going up, and everything's dry. And once it happens in a way where it's so spread out that there's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do.
You just have to evacuate, right?
Nothing they can do.
This is not Maui. I know that is hard to believe, but this is not Lahaina. This is the Pacific Palisades, the aftermath after the Palisades Fire, which is still 0% contained. This is drone footage of a neighborhood in between Santa Monica and Malibu. And as you can see here, the whole entire neighborhood is decimated. There is not one house standing. There is not one tree standing. Everything is charred to a crisp, just like Maui. And I'm starting to think that it's in the government playbook that every time there's a disaster in the United States, that is a cue to give more money to Ukraine. Today it was announced that Biden is going to give a final $500 million to Ukraine in military aid. I also learned today that the United States Agency for International Development, the USAID, an independent federal agency, has funded Ukraine with 16 fire departments with gear and rescue tools. Meanwhile, California has no water in the hydrants, and we are just left behind. Don't worry, I'm sure we'll be offered a $750 check from FEMA. As always, I want to hear what you think about all of this down below.
I'll tell you what I think. I think it's absolute nonsense and BS what's happening with our nation. Millions, billions going to overseas wars. And yet, you know, our states are being destroyed by what? I mean, you know, it's not a conspiracy, right? That the government is against the people. And it's all about the powers that be getting their way, no matter who they squash. These fires have a lot more to dig into. I mean, there's going to be a lot of evidence to come out that we could dive into there. This whole Diddy situation, yeah, I believe that there could be evidence that's, well, not could, shit. Look how much of Hollywood is being burnt. There's a lot of evidence being burnt, right? Also, you know, destroying the land, you know, breaking up and dividing the people, displacing the people. You know, when is enough going to be enough? When will the masses wake up and see that it's only united and together that we can stand against the tyrannies of the governments and the powers that be? All they want to do is divide us. They want to turn us against each other. And while they destroy our homeland from within. What are your thoughts there? Let's keep diving.
In California, in my whole entire life of seeing fires and seeing fires spread, I have never seen a fire like the fire that is going on right now in California. And honestly, it's looking very biblical. Think about it. You have the most expensive pieces of real estate being burnt right now. You have cars stuck on highways. You have people losing everything right now. 80-mile-per-hour winds, which is making the fire even worse to contain. What's going on? As a human being, this is one of the most scariest things that you can see. You have people that work so hard for what they have, losing everything. And to top it off, more than 50,000 people are under evacuation order. 50,000 people. Where are 50,000 people going to immediately go? Even the mayor, Karen Bass, said that everything is predicted to get worse. Firefighters can't even stop what's going on right now. Think about all the animals that they have there, pets, things of that nature. The Pasadena Jewish temple is burnt to the ground. Pay attention.
Real quick on that note with the fires, California is one of those states that has a lot of produce for fruits, veggies, and food. I guarantee the prices of food is going to skyrocket because we're losing a state full of vegetation, fruits that's distributed throughout, you know, the country. Man, crazy times, huh? But just getting started in 2025, day 9. All right, let's keep diving.
We are, and guess what they're going to be blaming it on? You see all these fires right now, right? I tried telling everybody a year ago that these fires were going to come, and nobody wanted to listen to me. But now here we are, and guess what they're going to be blaming it on? Ding, 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 you probably guessed it fucking right. But guess what? I also tried telling everybody where specifically that these fires were going to start. But people wanted to act like I have no idea what I'm talking about. I've seen the blueprints for this shit. I know what's on the way. And if you don't know what fires I'm talking about, there's a series of fires breaking out around Los Angeles. You have the Palisades Fire, you have the Eaton Fire, and you have the Hearst Fire. All of which are 0% contained, by the way. And wind gusts of up to 100 miles per hour are forecast. And at least 49,000 people have been ordered to evacuate right now. People were forced to abandon their cars because the fire was spreading so damn fast. People are even taking shelter on the beach. I mean, the Palisades Fire in itself was reported to blaze through at least 5 football fields a minute. But more than 200,000 people were without power come Tuesday evening, with 420,000 more under consideration for a power cut. And people actually think that this is normal? I'm going to put a specific article in the comment section so I can really provide some clarification, because there's just some shit that you cannot mention on this app. All I'm going to recommend that everybody does is just prepare yourself for 2025.
Tell us you can't blame nature for human incompetence. We continuously allow dangerously inept people to make decisions for us, tell us what we need to do against what we know is right, and these are the results. And to be quite honest, incompetence is probably the word they prefer because intentional is not the word that they want us to use. The mayor of LA cut $20 million in fire control and fire funding. Insurance companies canceled homeowner fire insurance policies weeks ago in the areas that are being affected. LA fire hydrants have no water. The current administration banned controlled burns. The fire chief department was hired as a DEI expert, not because of his expertise. Oh, and the mayor of LA on a luxury vacation in Africa. Right now, the threat to the area are the wildfires and the winds, and I'm praying for the people and the animals, for their health, for their safety. But long term, the existential threat to our whole country is the lack of leadership that for some reason people keep electing in. Please, open your eyes.
Now they're saying that companies like State Farm Insurance canceled people's fire insurance 2 months prior to these fires taking place. And this lady right here explains exactly how it happened to her parents.
Fine, you decided not to leave.
I know I'm not supposed to be here, but this is my parents' home.
I know the feeling.
And they just they got canceled from their fire insurance. So they're dealing with this. They're 90 years old. And through the state of California, because of this, they're 90 years old. They've lived in this house for 75 years, and they've had the same insurance, and these insurance people decided to cancel their fire. And we're going through this, and it just happened, and they have no fire insurance. Thank you.
So let me know what y'all think in the comments.
I think that is mad suspect, right? The water being shut off. All these insurance companies canceling the people's insurance on fires. What infuriates me, all these billionaires and stars that lives in Hollywood, they have insurance that will cover their houses, right? But the people like you and I who don't have the luxuries or the riches, those are the ones that are suffering. Yes, there's a lot of theories going out there. The burning evidence, this was an either man-made or God did it. But the fact still remains, I believe there's something corrupt at foot here. Everything is manipulated, in my opinion, and I question everything. And I believe there's a lot of you who do as well. What are your thoughts on what's going on in our world so far?
Ain't no fucking water in these fire hydrants. How the fuck is the firefighter supposed to work if they ain't got no water in the fire hydrants? Shit ain't making sense, man. And let me tell you, the city look bad. It look bad out here. Real talk. President Biden come down here. He came down here to see his grandson, okay? His grandson was born today at Cedars-Sinai. He held a press conference and said nothing. He didn't say a motherfucking thing, all right? And Gavin Newsom was sitting right behind him, and he didn't say a motherfucking thing either. Oh, and just so you know, they sent out another $500 million to Ukraine today, okay? Are they going to help the people? They probably not. Man, so many houses and got burned down out here, man. It looks ugly, and it just looks bad, man. So many people done lost their homes. The dogs done burned up. I've seen horses on fire. It looks ugly. And I apologize, man. I usually don't get on here and cuss too much, man. But I'm a little frustrated, to be honest with you. I'm a little mad, dog. Y'all stay safe, man.
Outside of LA truly understands just how insane this whole fire situation has been today. So let me just paint a picture. Like 10 different fires broke out today, including what I consider to be relatively weird areas, like around downtown LA and West Hollywood. The worst of which, the Palisades Fire, was originally 1 acre, as all things start, got to 10 acres. Then there was an announcement that came with it that was like, it's going to explode to 200 acres in 20 minutes. And I was like, well, that's insane. That's insane. It did just that. And then within an hour or maybe two, it was at 1,000 acres already. It is now, based on the last update that we've received, 3,000 acres. It started picking up so fast that people were leaving their cars as they were trying to drive out, but they were gridlocked. And then the LAFD had to bulldoze their cars out of the way. And then on the polar opposite side of the county in Pasadena, another fire has broken out. It is 400 acres. As I was filming this, I got a notification that another fire has broken out in Pasadena. But the winds are so bad that aircrafts can't fly properly. I also feel like it's worth mentioning that personnel from the Pasadena Fire Department were in the Palisades fighting that fire earlier today. And the winds are supposed to get their worst between 12 a.m. and like sometime in the morning, like 8 or something. And this is all in the span of less than 12 hours. Everyone I know in the area is like, I actually have no idea what to do. Because a fire could break out in my area, I just have no idea. So do I like wait and see if like things are going to get insane? Or do you like leave prematurely, not really knowing where you're going to go anyways? Like, yes, California is known for its wildfires, but I was born here. I have lived here forever. This is not normal. This is not normal. And with said abnormal conditions, it's very important to me that we place unique importance on the way that this is going to affect disabled people in LA and houseless people in LA. Things like public safety blackouts, like limited physical routes through which you can travel. Even an evacuation order in and of itself can be a death sentence for a disabled person. And then for houseless folks, like the one time that I was evacuated when I was like 7 years old, the fire department bangs on your door for you to get out. What if there is no door? And like, yes, they do send like text notifications and stuff nowadays, but like in a very car-dependent city that could not care less about public transit or its houseless population altogether, I worry about their ability to even evacuate or get out of harm's way if a fire were to get so close to them as to cause severe threat to their ability to move, their ability to live also, because the air quality is going to be horrible. Being forced to breathe in those fumes is also a death sentence. There are luckily a lot of organizations that are doing like on the ground mutual aid work, and I highly recommend that everyone donates to at least one of them, but I cannot stress this enough. You cannot donate your way out of a climate catastrophe. We need to be really taking in and sitting with the conditions that we've accepted as normal, and we need to adjust our actions accordingly. Like maybe no, I don't need to look everything up on ChatGPT because that takes substantially more energy. And maybe I do need to be doing more to support like the rights of Palestinian people to not be bombed to smithereens nonstop, because spoiler alert, that also does horribly affect the environment. Normal working class people of the world share one destiny. I just hope that it will be a good one.
So, never before seen weather phenomenons are happening. First, a huge flood. We were flooded, in hurricane season. That's way above normal, history breaking. And now these fires, once never before seen in a generation. Now, let's dive into the winter storm that's started off as well. All right, let's go.
Are on alert for the first big winter storm of 2025. The storm's expected to bring bitter cold temperatures and significant snowfall this weekend and into early next week. ABC News Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z is tracking the forecast.
Got 2 rounds of snow for the mid-Atlantic, one of them this afternoon and evening, and that one is going to be light and brief, but it will be just enough to make roads slick, and then it stays cold through the weekend before another one hits on Monday. So that's the mid-Atlantic, but that storm's got to come from somewhere, and it is the northern Rockies where we've got winter weather advisories already in place, and the storm really wraps up. Look, this is Sunday, 6 a.m. If you're traveling Interstate 70 or say 55, 65, 75, all through the mid-South, you want to watch this. St. Louis, Louisville, Indianapolis, Cincinnati, these are all cities that I think will see problems on the roads. And then by Monday morning, everybody's going back to work and school. That's going to be an issue for Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, Dover, Delaware. But you see that icing? That is that freezing rain where the drizzle or the rain falls on a sub-freezing surface and makes that glaze. So you'll have that ice, and in some places...
Looking at, believe it or not, one of the most harrowing weather conditions that I'm a part of. That includes hurricanes, tornadoes. This is freezing rain, and it's very deceptive. This road just maybe looks a little wet, but actually it's covered in ice.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh. Whoa.
It's the quiet killer of winter storms, the unassuming drizzle that turns treacherous with a chill. Freezing rain. It's not a phrase that inspires panic, but it should. It's the meteorological equivalent of a snake in the grass, deadlier than it looks and just as sneaky. Unlike the loud drama of a blizzard or the cinematic fury of a hurricane, freezing rain doesn't scream for attention. It just quietly coats everything in a glaze of ice, one layer at a time, until your world is a slip and slide of chaos.
Morning, the first major storm of 2025 slamming millions of Americans across the country from the Central Plains to the East Coast. Snow falling down overnight in Virginia, the D.C. metro area expecting to see anywhere from 5 to 10 inches of snow. In Missouri, near blizzard conditions making roads treacherous. Police say more than 1,000 drivers were stranded Sunday due to weather-related crashes. At least one person was killed. On I-470, a massive pileup. Trucks jackknifed, blocking traffic. In Kansas City, a woman recorded this semi-truck sliding across multiple lanes of traffic, then jackknifing on a highway.
Oh my gosh.
Meanwhile, in Ohio, Cincinnati slammed by record snowfall, stranding vehicles for more than 7 hours after a cluster of semis got stuck in the snow. And in Kansas, officials advising against non-emergency travel and urging residents to stay home. Trooper Ben Gardner showing how easy it is to slide on the roads.
You ready for this? That's what we're dealing with. We've been dealing with snow-packed roads that sits on top of the ice, and there's a lot of drifting that's occurred, still causing slide-offs and wrecks.
The storm creating havoc along Kentucky's highways. Snow-covered roads causing accidents like this one along I-64.
So, I don't like leaving the segments, without giving you a high. I want you to take a look at this clip. Let me know your thoughts on this guy.
That is table salt. That is table salt. That is Morton.
Yo, he's using table salt.
That is not.
It's about the ice.
That's not what you want, bud. Seems like a waste, but if you like it, I love it.
All right, that wraps up another one for the HFC podcast. Thank you for being here with me as we do this dive into the weather phenomenons. That's going on. Allie Carter, her predictions, the winter storm, and all these crazy fires. Stay safe, stay blessed in these dark, deceptive times. We are high frequency chaos. HFC out. Peace.